Well, good morning, everyone. Welcome to another live this morning. Hope you're having a great day, a great start to your day. I hope you've had your good for me coffee. Okay. And let me say hello to a few friends here. Brahim, numero uno, Portland, Oregon. Good morning. Laurie Lee, Ventura, California. We're going west to east, east to west. No, west to east. Sandy, how are you? And Manette, how are you? Nice to have you on. Eric, Ottawa, you see? West to east this morning. Mary, Norwich. And Kevin, Stormy, Oshawa. Gary. And Georgie, Halifax, Nova Scotia. Nancy, good morning from snowy Iowa. Adeline, LaSalle. Yvonne, good morning. Where's my hat? Yeah, I decided to go without a hat. Janice, how are you? Charlene. And Fran, loves the mug. Wendy, Markham, good morning. Yolande, bonjour. Laurie and Ryan from Sarasota, Florida. Chantal, Ottawa, bonjour. Jeanette. Diane, Thunder Bay. Bonnie, good morning. And Nick from our staff. Carol, West Virginia. But Donna, Newfoundland. Rebecca, how are you? And from Callender, Anna, Hamner, Gloria, New York. Lynn from Aurora. Donna, Park Hill. And Lise from London. Kristen, how are you? Catherine, Parksville, British Columbia. Maria, Ottawa. And Darlene, Saskatchewan. Renee, good morning from Newfoundland. Mara, good morning. And Yvonne, how are ya? Cecilia, Shediac, Nouveau-Brunswick. Judy, couple of more. Janet, snowy Thunder Bay. Denise, North Bay. Maureen, Penticton, British Columbia. And Bonnie from Manitoulin Island. Guys, Arlene, Cheryl, and Norma, Texas. And Hazel, good morning from Nova Scotia. Barbara, Cape Breton. Linda, and Mary, Vancouver, Washington. Milika from Stouffville. Tammy, how are you? Crystal, Alliston, Norma. Okay, guys. I don't know if you saw our email this morning, but if you haven't, okay, let me give you a little announcement. Tony Jr. and I are teaming up again to do another webinar. And we're going to do that next Tuesday. What's the date? What's the date next Tuesday? I can't remember. I don't have my calendar in front of me. Okay. And it's, what? The 16th or I can't remember. 17th? I don't know. Guys. Okay, but we're going to do a webinar on the metabolic syndrome. We're going to talk about how to get your A1C down, how to lower your triglycerides and all this and that. It's going to be very interesting. And it's starring January 16th. Thank you very much. And starring the brains behind the operation. Dr. Tony Martin Jr. Okay? I used to be called Junior. All the Tonys. And anyway, we're going to be on together next week, Tuesday night, the 16th of January, 7 p.m. Sign up. Okay? These things have a tendency to sell out. There's only so much room. And don't even ask me how it works. I have no idea. But It's on next Tuesday. So sign up. Make sure. Let's get a big crowd. Invite your friends, guys, because people that don't understand the importance. A lot of people have no idea that they're in metabolic disarray. They don't. They might not feel good, but they don't know how to interpret blood tests. They have no idea because nobody's shown them anything when it comes to that. But it's really, really important, and we're going to break it down, make it so that you understand it. And you guys are already way ahead of most people, but how about those new people? Okay? Invite them to come on. Okay, now, okay? Let me say something, and because there's 2 new studies that came out on probiotics, okay? Now, someone asked me one time, okay? It was kind of funny. Dr. Martin, you always talk about probiotics. True, okay? And that's been going on for a long time. Like, that didn't just start yesterday that we discovered probiotics. I have been talking about it for well over 40 years, okay? And I mean that. About the importance of bacteria. Good, bad, and ugly, okay? That's really important you understand that. And, okay? And the more they study probiotics, the more they study bacteria, the more they study the gut, the more they realize how significant that, we call it the microbiome, how significant that is, okay? 2 new studies, brand new. I'll post them, okay? Because, again, people are asking me, okay, a lot to post this stuff. And I go, jeepers, you're making me work. It's not as easy as you think. It may be easy for you, but for a senior like me, posting, okay, you're asking a lot, okay? But I get it. I like that you guys are thinking out there, and I want to encourage you to do your own research in a lot of ways. I really do, okay? Okay? So, I'll try and post these after the program, okay? 2 studies. 1, listen to this. Probiotics for everything. That's the headline for me, okay? That's not the headline of this study. It was probiotics for diabetics. Very beneficial. Wow, what? Very beneficial. So this study talks about giving broad spectrum probiotics. Okay, what's that mean, by the way? Broad spectrum means it's got a lot of different types of bacteria. Now, I've taught you this in the past. When you look at a label of probiotics, okay, and what you really are looking for is not just the amount of bacteria, okay? It's not just that, okay? You want a diverse strains of probiotics, okay? Because different strains, we've known this for a lot of years, different strains do different things, okay? And that's why you want a multitude of strains. And broad spectrum means it has at least 10, okay? Now, in our formula of probiotics, again, probiotics, okay, just some things that are important. Number 1, the best probiotics in the world are soil-based. What's that mean? Well, look, they're not dairy-based. Dairy is good. Remember me? Good, better, best. Okay? I do that. I do that with supplements. I do it with almost everything. Okay? Good. You want to eat a yogurt? Okay? You want to have a yogurt? Have a yogurt. Make sure no sugar is added. Now, there's going to be sugars in yogurt because there are some natural sugars in dairy. Okay? Not so much in cream. But just generally, in yogurt, you get a Greek plain yogurt. But guys, can I tell you something? Okay? You know I like dairy, so don't ditch dairy. I like dairy. Switch it. Don't drink milk unless you have a cow in the backyard. Don't drink milk. You don't need to drink milk. But I like dairy, specifically cheese and butter. I love dairy. So switch it. So when you take a probiotic, when you eat yogurt, there's no bacteria in there. There's no real probiotics. Why is that? Because everything on the market today, if it's in a grocery store, it's been pasteurized. What's that mean? Louis Pasteur. Remember? The fight, Louis Pasteur, the big thing for him was the germ, was a virus, was a bacteria, especially bacteria. So they called it pasteurization. Pasteurization. What is that? Heat up the dairy till 1200 degrees and you kill the bacteria. Okay? I understand why he did it. I understand why Pasteur and Pasteurites, people who believe in Pasteur, okay? I understand their thinking. Well, you just want to make sure there's no bacteria in there. The problem is they kill the good with the bad. You want to kill bad guys at 1200 degrees, you're killing all the good guys too. There's no bacteria left. So, people tell me in one yogurt, right? Okay, in one capsule, okay? Take out a capsule of our probiotic. And by the way, you'll never find a better one. That's my opinion, okay? And I'm biased. I admit it. But I have them made for me. I had them made in my practice. And the reason I did it is because when I saw leaky gut, when I saw yeast or fungus in my practice, when I saw patients with terrible skin, with terrible lungs, with terrible sinuses, with terrible yada, 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 I put them on probiotics that I got made for me, for my practice. Okay? They're broad spectrum. Now, again, one yogurt, one capsule. Take out a capsule of our probiotic to get the same amount of bacteria in one capsule of probiotic. You would have to eat over 16,000 4-ounce yogurts. So if you like yogurt, good for you. But don't take it for probiotics. And if you give kids yogurt, open up a probiotic capsule to give them the probiotic. Okay? Now, back to the lead story. Okay? Because I always go off on rabbit trails. It's just the way I am, guys. Now, here's the research. 2. But let's start with number 1. Probiotics, the headline I give it, probiotics for everything. Start with the gut. Hippocrates did. Started with the gut. The father of medicine. Man, that guy was a genius. He said all diseases start in the gut. Now, can you imagine? In medical school, do you think they teach that? But 2,000 years ago, even more, the father of medicine, Hippocrates, said all diseases start in the gut. He wasn't out to lunch. A very smart man. And the more they study the microbiome, the more they study the gut, the more they go, Hippocrates was right. Now, this study talked about giving probiotics to diabetics. They're already diabetics. No change in their diet at all. They just gave them probiotics. You know what happened? Two things. Okay? Two things. One, their A1C, okay, in this study, they just gave them probiotics, nothing else changed. Their A1C, you know how much I love A1C, went down 1.5%. Okay? So if it was at 5.7, for example, and guys, what is the sweet spot for A1C? Just a little test in your mind so you get this. It should come off your lips like this. What's the sweet spot for A1C? 5.4. You don't want to be above that. Otherwise, you're in trouble. Look at my students. Look at my students. Look at my students. They know it. They know it. They know it. They know. And Tina, you're right. Even better if you're under 5. But the sweet spot is 5.4 or less. Okay? If you're above 5.4, you have a condition called insulin resistance. That puts you in the 93% of the population that have trouble with insulin. Okay? So one of the things, fantastic, what happens just by giving patients who are already diabetic. Let me ask you another question. You guys would know this. What medication is the medication of choice to get A1C down? Okay? What's the number one medication? Again, I just want you guys to think. And again, you should spit this out. Well, Shelley says insulin. Yes. But Annette's got it. It's metformin. And isn't it funny? Someone said statin drug. They give you that too. Okay? Metformin. Now, again, I'm just giving you little quizzes. Okay? Because I'm a teacher. Okay? I'm a teacher. Even though I majored in recess at school. I'm a teacher. Okay? Now, what happens? Almost invariably, without exception, really, when you take metformin, what do you lose? Just really fast. Okay? I'm in a question asking mood this morning. What happens when you take metformin? You are deficient in come on. I'm waiting. What happens when your bowels, yes, that's a side effect. But what is the biggest side effect of Tina, Koki? You guys are thinking, I like it, but that's not what I'm looking for. Rebecca, yeah. And you got it. You lose B12. Okay? So if you know anyone that is taking metformin, and if any diabetic or even pre, almost invariably they will be put on metformin. What are they going to lose? Very, very dangerous. They don't realize it, is that drug decreases your B12. And this is why, guys, I've said that every week I always do a rant on pharmacists. I do a rant on them. Because really, even more than physicians, they should know this. When you give out a prescription for metformin, you should be saying, okay, you know any pharmacists? Tell them I said so. They should be saying, ma'am, sir, you need to take, you're taking this drug, you need to take B12. You got it? Okay, now, back to the probiotic. A1C went down. A1C is the test that I love when it comes to testing. Look, you want to take your blood sugar? I got no problem with that. The best way, in my opinion, to look at, you can do fasting insulin too. I got no problem with that. For me, I find the best test to find out if you have insulin resistance or not is A1C. That's a 3-month average of your red blood cells. Sugar, you want to know how smart your body is? Sugar, you want to know how smart your body is? Your body knows more than you know that sugar is toxic. Your body knows it. That's why your body and everything in it just about is dedicated to getting sugar out of the bloodstream. It's not good for you. Because one of the things that sugar does is it hitches its wagon to hemoglobin. And you know what sugar does? It glycates. It hardens. It hitches its wagon to red blood cells, the hemoglobin within red blood cells. And you can measure it. So if your A1C is above 5.4, you're in doo-doo. Don't fool yourself. Take it as the gospel truth and do something about it. One of the things you can do, according to this study, is you can take a probiotic. It actually helps. Now, you guys know me. I'm a food guy first. Okay? Food comes first. You can't out-supplement a bad diet. That came from me. Okay? So, do I love supplements? You bet your boots I do. But I always start with food. So if you got high A1C, you're a carboholic. You and sugar don't get along. You and carbs don't get along. Face facts. Okay? Face the facts. See this face here? Okay? Me and carbs don't get along. Okay? We just don't. I have to be careful. I have to watch. I am so sympathetic with patients. I always was sympathetic with patients in my practice days. Okay? Very sympathetic. You love carbs? Hey, I married an Italian. What do you think? What do you think? Okay? I'm sympathetic. But I try not to fool myself. Okay? So, A1C won. A1C went down just by probiotics. It shows you the gut. It shows you the importance of bacteria. You want good guys. 2, you know what happened? By 6 milligrams / per DL. You know what went up? A1C went down. HDL went up. Cholesterol went up. Your FedEx trucks, your Amazon trucks, your US Post trucks, or Canada Post trucks, on the highways and byways of your blood vessels were increased with probiotics, broad spectrum probiotics. They went up. the number at HDL went up. You want that to go up. You want your triglycerides to go down. You want your A1C to go down. But what do you want to go up? Your HDL. So when I look at blood work, my friend, I always looked at blood work a little bit differently because I was more interested in certain markers. We're going to go over that next week. Okay, we're going to go over it because I hammer it home. I want you to be able to read your own blood work. I know it looks like Greek to most people. What's that mean? Okay, I get it. Okay, they make everything in Latin. That was to keep the masses ignorant. You know? When I used to give out results, okay, in the office, we used to have, I wish I had a copy with me, okay, all the biomarkers that we did. But because I remember it happened more than once, but a lady called me the next day. She just came to see me the day before. She said, Dr. Martin, you gave me so much information. I was overwhelmed. I said, okay, now, did you get a report? She said, yes, I did. I said, well, now you need to read it. Because if you look at everything in that report, you will see that I explained what that meant. Read the report, and then if you have questions, okay, I tried to answer all your questions before you asked me questions. Okay? So I like that. The problem is, okay, in medicine today, it's one of the biggest problems in my opinion. Okay? Generally, people see their doctor. They got all these questions and they want answers and they don't get them generally. Okay? Not always. Doctors are busy. They're la, 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 la. But they just don't explain themselves a lot of times and they don't give out enough information, in my opinion. Again, information is so important. And I love you guys because you come on to the program and you're listening, and that, not only that, you're asking questions. I like that. You're thinking. Doc, why are you so adamant about probiotics? Okay, I just gave you a couple of reasons. Okay? And look, this was on diabetic patients. Their A1C went down and their HDL cholesterol went up. Beautiful. That is so, 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 so important. Okay? So good for you. But again, where do you start? You start with food, my friend. Start with food. Okay? Start in the kitchen. Or as someone has said, in the grocery store. Okay? Start there. Okay. Eggs, meat, and cheese. Eggs, meat, and cheese. Now, second study. Okay? And this one was out of, hold on, let me get it. It was actually a dual study in Britain and the USA. They got together to study Parkinson's. Okay? Now, here's a little preamble on Parkinson's. Parkinson's is a neurodegenerative condition. Do you guys remember when I did the drawing on the brain? And there's 5 forms of dementia. You remember that? Well, Parkinson's is in that category. It's a form of dementia. Okay? And I think it's, I can't remember the percent. Let me just see if I can find, if I can't find it fast, okay? I got to look for my drawing. I can't remember what the percent of Parkinson's is. Oh, stinky. Okay. You know what? I'm not going to look too long. Where's my drawing? Anyway. Okay, I can't find it. I don't want to spend all my time there. Okay, now. Parkinson's, neurodegenerative condition. It's part of the family of dementia. And here's what I know about Parkinson's. One, it is doubling. The amount of Parkinson's. Look, I've been around a long time, guys. Parkinson's been around a long time. But what's happened more recently is the amount of Parkinson's. How it's so prevalent today. That form of dementia. Okay? And it's growing faster than any other neurological condition is Parkinson's. Now, let me tell you about this study, okay? They're saying, now I've told you this before, but they're saying, this study is saying, it starts in the gut. Parkinson's up here in the brain doesn't start in the brain. It starts in the gut. Yup, it starts in the gut. And, okay, here's what they did in this study. 30% of the gut bacteria. Okay, so what they did is they took stool analysis of healthy subjects without Parkinson's and Parkinson's patients, and they took stool analysis. Okay? This is big research these days by folks. Is they're looking at the microbiome. You know what they found in the Parkinson's patients? They had 30% different forms of bacteria than the normal subjects. They differed. The microbiome differed. And here's what they said, okay? They had Parkinson's patients had an increase in identifiable bacteria that they know causes infection in the brain. They looked at their stool and they had 30% more of these bad bacteria. Remember, good, bad, ugly when it comes to bacteria. Okay? You got good guys. This is why, guys, repetition. Okay? This is why I don't like people that over clean. I like clean, but I don't like over cleaning. Okay? Send your kids and let them play in the mud. And don't be over crazy about washing them, cleaning them. And if you do, use ordinary soap, not these antibacterials. I'm telling you, that is a disaster waiting to happen. Because these antibacterial things, these chemicals, yeah, they kill all right, but they kill your good guys. And then there's these super bugs that come out. So here's what I'm going to say. They didn't say it in the study, but I'm going to say it. Okay? Because they didn't tell you how it happens. They just analyzed the stool of Parkinson's patients versus people that didn't have Parkinson's. They were healthy neurologically. And they analyzed the two stools and they found a big difference. Okay? Now here's me. Why would there be a big difference? Why is there a big difference in the stools of the bacteria? I'm going to tell you one of the culprits. And one of the things that we see today has come from overcleaning, but even more than that, antibiotics. Guys, I have been saying this 50 years. And listen, somebody asked me yesterday, Doc, should I take an antibiotic? I said I would. They had a raging infection. Antibiotics can save your life. But, and this is a big but, you better replace that bacteria if you take a probiotic, an antibiotic. You better replace it. Because otherwise you could be in deep doo. And it don't happen overnight. Years later, Parkinson's. Now, what have I always told you about Parkinson's? Because this is, not only is the stool, this is new. The stool changes. Different bacteria. They killed the good guys and the bad guys took over. A very aggressive bacteria. They found in neurological problems like Alzheimer's. But guys, listen, it's leaky gut. I'll take it a step further. You take an antibiotic, or you're always cleaning. You're killing the good guys. You know what takes over? Yeast. It's the invasive third army. And remember what they found in Parkinson's. I brought this to you in the past. They often find mercury, aluminum, lead, cadmium. How did that get in the brain? It got carried there by yeast, by fungus, candida. You see why probiotics are so good for you? They kill yeast. And the thing that you need to do is don't feed the bears. Don't feed the bears. Don't feed yeast. Sugar. I'll tell you. How does that heavy metal get up into the brain in neurological Parkinson's? Well, they find it in Alzheimer's too. Yes, yeast. It travels through the blood and crosses the blood-brain barrier. Interesting studies, eh? Okay. I'm fascinated by the microbiome. I have been for many, many moons. And, I see studies like this and I go, wow, it's incredible. Will anything ever happen? I don't know. Will they ever start recommending probiotics? I don't know. Some doctors do, I know some real smart doctors. They tell you, hey, you better get on probiotics. Anywho. Okay, guys. Again, we got a great week. Okay. Remember to sign up for the webinar next week. Tell your friends, guys. Okay. Next Tuesday night, 7 p.m., I believe. Okay. If you don't get our emails, you better sign up for them. Go to martinclinic.com. Okay, guys, enough advertising. We love you dearly. We'll talk to you soon.